These are the oils I'm using for this soap. I'm going to put this pot on the stove. While these oils are melting, I'm going to mix up my lye solution. If you want to know how to mix the water and the lye, you can go watch my other video. It's called Calm the Sea Soap, and I show mixing the water with the lye on the scale. It is always important to use goggles and gloves. All right, we're gonna just go ahead and make this patchouli soap. A friend of mine asked me for some patchouli soap, and I forgot that it was orange patchouli that she likes. But I only have a couple. I bought this from Candle Science, and it's just patchouli. Then I have this, which is actually orange blossom. So I'm gonna mix this orange with the patchouli and see if that works out. Okay, I'm adding my melted oils. I say my melted oils. The melted oils into a big Pyrex container, and I try to get everything out of there. You don't want to waste any oils. I know that that orange blossom will thicken it up quite a bit, so I'm going to have to move as fast as I can. So it may not be graceful. Now I'm going to add the lye water solution into the oils, and we're going to mix it up with a stick blender. So when my friend asked me to make some patchouli soap for her, I procrastinated it for a while because I wanted to get the perfect scent. And I had so many scents already, and there were 2 patchouli versions in my sample sizes, but I didn't really like them that much. So I'm adding the orange blossom to the patchouli. The patchouli is from Candle Science, and the orange blossom is from something called Sun Eye or whatever. It's the orange blossom that really is going to accelerate this soap. So I'm doing the best I can with it. But this is one of my favorite parts, the mixing of the soap until it saponifies. I want to make sure that the fragrance oil is mixed in really well. But as you can see, it is starting to trace very quickly, and almost too quickly now. But no, I'm still mixing. But the fragrance smells really good. Now you can see how quickly it has thickened. It almost looks like a banana pudding. So I'm going to have to mix the mica powders, which are mica powders mixed with oil, by hand. I'm using the Cantaloupe mica powder by Nurture Soap, which should give it a nice orange color, if we can get all these things mixed in fast enough. So this is when I have to go at super speed to try to make sure that this does not get too thick to the point where it completely seizes. If I keep mixing it, it seems to stay soft enough. And I tried not to make a complete mess because making soap is actually sort of a messy business. I'm going to add a little orange on the bottom, and then add a little bit of, what color am I looking for here? Green. Add a little bit of green. See if I can swirl that around a little bit, because it looks kind of ugly in the mold, but when you cut it, it'll actually surprise you. I'll add a little bit more orange just to kind of make it separated. Let's flatten it down a little bit. I hope there's not going to be a lot of air bubbles in it. I'm really going to have to bang this one down. So moving on, let's add a little bit of purple. Now, this isn't that big of a mold, but it seems like I just have tons of soap. I'm gonna add a little bit of purple, and then we'll see if we can get it a little swirly in there by squishing the spatula around a little bit. Add a little bit more orange on top. Let's bang it down. I'm gonna bang it like mad on the floor. It's starting to look a little bit better. I have a little bit more green, so let's just keep adding the colors until I'm out. And you know, this is actually a really good soap recipe. It's the additives that will make it thicken faster. When the soap batter is really thin, you can do some really cool drop swirls. The fun thing about making soap is that it may look kind of funky on top, but all those swirls can make really cool designs. The challenge is not to mess with it too much on top to model the colors. All right, this is the unmolding. It took about 12 hours for it to get hard enough. So I'm just going to take it out of the mold and out of the plastic, what is this called in the middle? The liner. And it comes out pretty easily. You just have to be careful not to mess with the corners. I don't have one of those fancy soap cutters, but I do have this $5 soap cutter that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it works pretty well for small loaves. Let's see what this looks like on the inside. All right, that's pretty. I like it. I mean, it's not perfect, and you can see some of the like the natural color of the soap in there, but that's okay because it's mixed decently, and there's also some air bubbles, but I think this will work out okay. It will cure for about 6 weeks, and then I'll give it to my friend, and I hope she likes it.